All right, this is going to be a follow-up to my reaction video to the Ravens 23-10 preseason win over the Titans last night. There will be no video shown in here, no gameplay, so just up front, if you don't want to watch it, if you don't want to listen to just commentary, no problem. Just wanted to be upfront about that. I will go over the first 4 possessions that the Titans ran with some observations, specifically from the Ravens defensive standpoint. And then I'll have a separate video come out late tonight about the 5th possession. I thought the 4th and 5th possession by the Titans was very complete, very astute, smart play calling, and I thought they kind of took advantage of some of the things we were doing. So first possession, first play of the game was a bootleg concept by Malik Willis with the fullback going out into the flats, tight end kind of like a delay release, very similar to what Isaiah Likely did for one of his receptions where he juked a couple of people to get a first down. And I thought Malik Harrison and Christian Welch were kind of slow to redirect. They kind of had trouble redirecting on those boot concepts as quick as obviously like a Josh Bynes and a Patrick Queen redirect. Those guys have a little bit more foot speed, and they kind of recognize things a little quicker as well. There was a 3rd and 5 there on the first possession where Oweh got a pass rush, and he showed a really nice spin move, much improved, much quicker than his spin move against the Raiders. If you recall last year, his first sack of his career in week 1, he spun off of the Raiders' right tackle and then chased Derek Carr down from behind. By the way, EA Edgar Allen did a nice little video talking about that play and another play defensively from the Ravens. That was the 3rd and 5 where Titans lined up in trips left, and Pepe Williams, great coverage, first of all, great alignment, great eyes, could have easily had a pick 6. Rod Woodson covered it very well. So did EA in his follow-up video this morning. Interior D-line got a great pass rush on that. I think it was Broderick Washington, and he really played well, Broderick Washington, and especially in these first 4 series. Interior D-line was dominant, if you ask me. 3 and out, first possession. Some of the camera views, you don't really get to see all of the secondary, so in terms of coverage-wise, when I have the opportunity to make an observation, I will, but some of them I did not. Second possession, 1 play. Titans take over with about 9 minutes left in the first quarter. 1st and 10, and they 12 personnel, so 2 tight ends. And Daylon Hayes does a nice job of taking on the outside tight end and setting the edge. The only thing, he's always in his gap when he has a tight end. I feel like he's in control of the tight end. The only thing is I'd like to see him condense that inside gap a little more. He's obviously got to concern himself with either D gap or, in this case, I guess it would be E gap outside of the second tight end. So he's got to maintain his gap, but I'd like to see him condense the inside gap. There was once last night, maybe twice, where I thought the gap inside the tight end was a little wider than it should be, and Daylon Hayes could maybe do a little bit better job of condensing that gap down. Not getting his body in that gap, but driving the tight end back. Even if you only drive him back a foot and a half, you've condensed that inside gap while maintaining your leverage. You can influence the play. Brett Urban got down blocked, but then slid through the backside to disrupt the running back's path. He basically just out-athleted Nicholas Petit-Ferreira, the Titans rookie left tackle. Malik Harrison did a nice job dealing with the interior tight end, coming downhill a little bit, and then deftly just moving to the inside and then swatting the ball out of the running back's hands. Urban looked good. He didn't play a lot, but he looked to be on a different level than some of the other some of the offensive linemen he was dealing with, at least in that game. We just have so much interior D-line depth. It's incredible. And then Hamilton jumps on the football. I think Daylon Hayes was there and someone else as well. Hamilton, in the Discord that we have, someone said Hamilton just ninja'd it and took it away. First or maybe second play ever on an NFL field, and Kyle Hamilton gets a turnover. Really just a blessed individual, obviously, even though, there was a couple of plays last night where you'd like to see him play certain things better. So 3rd possession after we go down and score on the Mike Davis touchdown run. 3rd possession, we're up 7-0. Titans take over a little less than 7 minutes left in the first quarter. And it's another 3 and out. Broderick Washington plays this really well. We actually had Michael Pierce on the field on this first play, and it looked unfair. I mean, he's able to just get by an offensive lineman, get right in, I almost said Patrick Willis, get right in Malik Willis's face. And now we had Harrison on the field as an edge defender, but he's not playing edge. Guys, it's a nickel defense, and then we walk him up to play left outside linebacker on the edge, so we're creating a 5-1 look is what we're doing. Out of our 4-2 nickel personnel, 4+2 adds up to 6. We just take one of our inside linebackers, in this case Harrison, walk him up to the left edge, and we create a 5-1. 5+1 is 6 also. So you're just creating a different look with a 6-man box, and then we walk a safety up into the box to create a 7-man front with two, quote, edge players. And I think we took Steven Means and slammed him inside the B gap, inside where the tackle was. Willis was able to escape Pierce and run towards the sideline. And I thought Harrison did he had an active first quarter early. And he had the forced fumble on the second possession, and then he pushed Willis out of bounds. The only thing is, I'd like to see him finish the tackle over there. It was on the far sideline. Second down, next play, 2nd and 8, was a 21 personnel. And we have Hamilton rolled up to the tight end side. And it was a run play inside. It was a run play to the weak side, far side. And Means just stands up the right tackle. My God, he's good against the run. Had some issues a couple of times when Willis kind of tried to escape contain. And Means is out there as the edge defender, but man, he's good against the run. He really reminiscent of Pernell McPhee. Stood up the right tackle, folded inside the B gap, and then Broderick Washington was there. He just took the right guard's soul. Broderick Washington looks ready to go, which is, we just have so much depth there. You can't say it enough. Kristen Welch had a real good read and fill on that play, creating a 3rd and 5. So, again, third possession, 3rd and 5. We bring Harrison on a blitz, and the running back steps up, and Harrison just blows him up. Malik Harrison seems to play better coming forward in a lot of cases, makes more plays, moving laterally out in a little bit of space. He had some trouble even on that 4th possession, the next possession. So he blew up the running back, and then he slid off to hit Malik Willis outside the numbers and force a punt. He hit him as Malik Willis was throwing the ball. Camera angle didn't even really show me, where the ball ended up. But it was a nice play by Harrison. We brought that 5-man blitz on 3rd down at least twice last night, maybe 3 times. So the level of guys that Malik Harrison was playing, he had an impact, in that situation. All right, 4th possession. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. There was a lot going on in the first quarter, even though the score was only 7-0 at this point. So they go, it's a beautiful call by the Titans that I kind of covered in the reaction video. First play of the 4th possession. A lot of their base stuff isn't working, because our interior D linemen were giving them trouble on their stretch and inside zone concepts. And then we had the forced fumble on the 2nd possession when they're actually, there was a little bit of a running lane. Brett Urban had got penetration, forced the running back to kind of redirect, but there was a little bit of a lane there, and Malik Harrison luckily slapped the ball away, kind of like Odafe Oweh did against the Chiefs last year on that forced fumble in the 4th quarter. But in any case, first play, 4th possession, screen to the weak side, beautiful job. O-line got out there, great play call. To open a drive with a screen, that's unique. Think about us as the Ravens on offense. Like, A, we don't run a lot of screens. B, it's kind of predictable when we do, 3rd and long. And a lot of teams have situations where they run them. I love what the Titans do offensively. I always have respected it. It is a little unique to the NFL now. They're not just some generic 11 personnel team that is going to be in the shotgun a lot. I love how specific they are. I really love the drafting of Malik Willis. Is he going to be a starter soon, later, a year from now? I'm not sure, but he showed last night that he's got some ability and he can execute the offense. So big gain on first down, that screen. Looked like Jeremiah Moon got upfield a little bit, and he did that again later as well on a run play in the same possession. So the next play, 12 personnel by the Titans, and they're under center, and it's a jet sweep to Treylon Burks to the top side, to the right side of the offense, left side of the defense. He just didn't look that explosive to me. I don't know if he's dealing with, an injury or something like that, but, you see certain guys that get the football, and it's like, boom, immediate, full speed, and you're like, wow, he's threatening the edge. Treylon Burks didn't look like that, just at least not on that play. Jeremiah Moon, who I just said the play before, got upfield on the screen a little bit. He did a great job. He had 2 tight ends double teaming him. Did a fantastic job of, some people call it just stretching it out, just working to the sideline. Delay the time when that running back can make his decision. Don't let him make a quick decision to cut it up right now, and don't just give him the edge and let him, get around the edge. And then Seymour, a guy who's been much maligned in training camp and a lot of situations, came up and lit up Burks with a low tackle. And then immediately after Seymour makes contact, Jeremiah Moon has shed the tight end and finishes Burks off out of bounds. I mean, it was an impressive play by Jeremiah Moon. I was impressed. You can go back and watch it yourself. It would be with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Great play, especially after he had just had some trouble. So still a great play call by the Titans, if you ask me. If you think about the context of what was happening, first play was a screen, big gain. Second play, a jet sweep to their first-round draft pick, who they're trying to get going, it seems like. And, not much comes of it. It's only a 2-yard gain. I still like the play call. 4-yard gain, excuse me. 2nd and 6. Titans go bunch left, and they run inside zone to the weak side. And again, Moon kind of gets upfield. Seymour looks like he's coming on a blitz off the edge. Burks was lined up really tight. Burks was like 4 yards outside of Moon, maybe 3 yards outside of Moon as our left defensive end or left outside linebacker. And Seymour blitzes inside of the receiver. Looks like he runs into the back of Moon. So we end up with 2 guys in C gap, and the run play goes up through B gap. The center and the right guard did a great job for the Titans on that play. And the running back, Chestnut, hits it, at that great inside zone angle. Welch ends up missing a tackle like 6 yards downfield after dealing with the right guard, because the center and the right guard combo the one technique. It looked like Travis Jones got overtaken. Not a negative play. I mean, he's in his gap. He's in his A gap. But you don't want to see... He looked like he got overtaken really quick. When I say overtaken, the center and the right guard are working together. He's in between them. Jones in between them. Center and the right guard are working together. And the center's able to get to Jones outside really quick, because the right guard's going to take his inside hand and stab him while he moves up to the linebacker level, which was Welch. And Welch misses the tackle. The only negative play that I saw out of Jones at all, and it's a difficult concept when you're the one technique on the backside. We had 2 guys in the C gap, so that's a problem, number 1. Number 2, I thought Jones could have played a little bit better laterally, but the right guard did a great job. So Seymour runs into the back of Moon. I mean, how do you predict that, right? All right, so big run. Then they got a 1st and 10. Titans got a 1st and 10 from our 27 after that big run by Chestnut. And they go with a 1-back power play. They got Haskins, the rookie running back, I think from Michigan, in now. And a great play by Isaiah Mack. My God, I hope I don't have his name wrong. Number 94, 2-yard gain. Just a great play. He wins one-on-one matchup. So creates a 2nd and 8. And this is the pass play where Harrison gets stiff-armed eventually, but that's really not the issue to me. Harrison is not going to play well with so much space to cover, but people are going to say, like, Harrison can't play out in space. Well, hold on. I don't think that space should have been there. It looks to me like we're in a zone. I don't get much of a view of it. Pepe Williams is outside of him, initially lined up outside of him, and the routes, whatever the routes were, I didn't see them. Pepe Williams seems to carry them downfield. So there ends up all this space basically like between the hash and the numbers. Harrison's somewhere in there, all the way to the sideline. And that's just too much space for Harrison to cover. It's just too much space in terms of, okay, the running back's caught the ball. He's just running to the sideline. And, could Harrison tackle better? If you look at 3 plays from this game, you've got, the scramble by Willis on the first possession, I believe, when Harrison, got credit for the tackle, pushed him out of bounds. I'd like to see him finish that tackle. Then here with the running back, he gets stiff-armed. And then, of course, the play I'm going to talk about in a moment, the touchdown run by Malik Willis, where, Harrison has him in his arms. Kyle Hamilton misses a tackle as well. So, yeah, there's some tackling issues. Harrison did some good things and then did some bad things. Rooting for the guy, man. Hope he has a big year. But in any case, here it's a short pass to the running back, which I think was Haskins again. And Harrison can't corral him, gets stiff-armed. Pepe Williams eventually pushes the running back out of bounds. I think it's possible that Pepe Williams might have carried a route too far downfield. But, I don't know the coverage, obviously. And for some reason, the clock, it was like 18 seconds to Williams forces the running back out of bounds. And the ref signals stop the clock, but the next play is first play of second quarter. Really weird. Under center, 12 personnel. And Jefferson and Harrison fill downhill fast. I mean, Jefferson's aggressive. And they stopped Chestnut, who's in at running back now, for a short gain. Harrison was involved as well. And then Hamilton kind of cleans it up. Hamilton's the guy who I think is holding on to the running back at the end for like a 1-yard gain. Hayes, again, does a good job with the tight end. He sets things inside. He has his gap, but I'd like to see him condense that gap a little bit. If we got the end zone angle of that view, I suspect it would look like a big old gap there for the running back to possibly run through. I'd just like to see him condense it. And again, Hamilton's there. That was a 1st and goal. So then the final play that I'm going to talk about, we'll be done here. Forgive me for not using any video. I'm just not going to risk anything to do with this channel at all, for real, until I get all 22, video that we have some confidence that we're able to use. So I thought initially this was a design play. It looks like sprint out or semi roll to the right, Titans right, and then Hamilton misses the tackle. Just a poor angle. The poor angle is what creates the missed tackle. It's not that he can't tackle. The poor angle creates it. And then Willis, has got the whole side of the field to deal with from the hash to the sideline. And you got Stephen Means and Harrison in pursuit at different levels. They're separated by about 6 yards. And, Malik Willis just too athletic for those two guys with all that space. What came down to the bottom of the numbers to the sideline. Too much space, too much room for an athlete like him. I thought it was a design play last night. I don't think so now. Broderick Washington wins to the front side. So Malik Willis sees, the other team's jersey, in this case the Ravens' purple jerseys. He sees that jersey color flash in front of his eyes, so he does what an athlete does. He reverses field. I'm not going to run into someone, who's 330 pounds that has the other team's jersey on. So I'm gonna move away from that pressure. I'm going to move away from that presence. Broderick Washington played well. He played very well. I am so glad we got him and Mack again with all the interior D-line depth we have. I was worried about those two guys because they put on a show last year in the Bengals game up in Cincinnati. We got beat quite badly. But those two guys, I think we had 5 sacks, and 3 of them came from those two guys. I thought they played really well that day, and I thought that both of them had moments last night where they look like they can contribute. So let's talk about Hamilton. We call this peel, where the flow is going away from you. And now he's so smart, Hamilton, and such a savvy player. He sees all the flow going away. He's chasing. He wants to make a play. If this was a normal bootleg situation where the quarterback is handing off and you got an edge blitz, we called it peel. Think about peeling a banana. You're not going to go directly at the mesh point. You've got to peel off to where the quarterback will end up being if he keeps the football. And if you do, and somebody said this in a comment or maybe on Twitter, if you do miss the tackle, you've got to miss the tackle on the outside because all your help is to the inside. You never want to tell a player to plan on missing a tackle for real. But having said that, you've got to say to them, you cannot miss this tackle on the inside, and now you give them the whole outside to deal with Means and Harrison being the only guys who can possibly prevent a touchdown. Poor angle, obviously a bad tackle, but the angle creates the missed tackle. And he'll play it better, the more he gets to run that edge blitz. I'm not a huge fan. For real, you got 3 receivers to the other side, so I'm not sure why we're bringing a weak side blitz, but we were for whatever reason, so that's the call, and we didn't execute it well. Ends up with Means and Harrison running laterally towards the sideline, and Willis, and they're in trail. They're trailing a little bit. They're on Willis's inside hip, and Willis's athleticism just too good. You saw some examples of Harrison, other guys making plays. Our interior guys, to me, are the ones that are showing up right now, at least watching it on film the first 4 possessions. Didn't have time to go over anything more than this, so I hope you guys appreciate it. If you don't, no problem. If if it's just not fun at all, not seeing a video, understood. But there's other guys that are putting out the video, and they know something I don't, obviously, because I just don't feel comfortable. Appreciate you guys if you checked out the video this far. Let me know what you think of my thoughts. I will have something late tonight on the Ravens' 5th defensive possession. And then a little commentary video about Shamar Bridges, Makai Polk, and Isaiah Likely. I did get the chance to watch some of that early this morning, and they look like veterans. They look like guys that have been in the league for a couple years, for real. Real big fan of what our coaches are doing with them and what those players are doing to access the instruction. Let me know what you think of some of my thoughts here. I didn't cover every defensive player, really the guys that played, the first 4 possessions. And had an impact, or unfortunately maybe had some issues last night. Great game, great win overall, and I was impressed with our defense, especially how we were able to adjust after the 4th and 5th possession. When, as I said in a reaction video, I thought the Titans kind of had some certain things figured out at that point.